Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 160th episode of Movie and TV Talk. On this episode, I am going to be discussing and giving my thoughts on the Mortuary Assistant movie. So let's get into this. To me, this movie falls under where I put the Until Dawn movie. This is based on a video game of the same name that I did not play. And just like with Until Dawn, to be fair to the game, perhaps this falls more in line with Iron Lung since both games are indie games turned movies, but I do hope that the Iron Lung movie is more interesting than this one because my goodness, this was a boring movie. It was, at the least, way better than Lee Cronin's The Mummy, but I nearly fell asleep watching this movie. We have Rebecca, who is doing her, final exam of corpse embalming while being supervised by Raymond, and guess what? She does well and she gets the job. Of course, Raymond tells her that she'll be working daytimes, but that goes out the window very quickly when Raymond calls her to go in at night because he just can't. He's just too busy putting weird sigils on his chest to be able to go in. Of course, she goes in and that's when all the spooky stuff starts to happen. Because spooky stuff always happens at night. At one point she goes home and her friend from AA comes over and this demon takes over Rebecca and makes it look like she killed her friend, but she doesn't actually. Raymond calls her and tells her that she needs to come back to the mortuary as it's the safest place for her to be, according to him, and because he needs to explain everything to her. She goes back and he attempts to explain stuff, but then the demon takes over Rebecca and causes her to attack Raymond, forcing him to trap her in the mortuary for the time being. Yeah, now Rebecca is left all alone to deal with the demon that is playing on all her emotions because that's what it does. She tries different methods to get rid of the demon that Raymond told her to do, but none of them really work because of the fact that a lot of it was the demon actually telling her to do stuff and not Raymond. We eventually learned that Raymond keeps what used to be his own mother, I think, in a coffin in the mortuary basement to use her blood as a reagent, I think. Something like that. Rebecca is also very much thinking of the night that her own father passed away, enough to having weird vision conversation where her dad says she needs to move on past the night and that she'll always remember him. Rebecca visits the mom in the basement and decides to open her coffin, and then the mom attacks her. This is when Raymond comes back to use the symbols on his chest to force the mom back into the coffin and close it. The movie ends with Raymond telling Rebecca that the demon stuff will never end for the two of them, and that's kind of it. Look, I get it. It's an interesting premise to make a movie of, but like Until Dawn, there are just a few too many horror cliches and things that I find just don't make a lot of sense. Maybe things make more sense in the game, but I've never played it because I like to see if a movie can stand on its own without any context from the game, and I don't think this one really hits that. To me, most of the movie could have been avoided had Rebecca told Raymond that he won't go in at night because that's not what they originally discussed. Not to mention, Raymond has been dealing with this demon stuff for years according to the movie, so it baffled me when he tells Rebecca that he can't think of why the demon would bind itself to her body so quickly, and that usually the bodies decay before the demon can. I'm sorry, you're the one with all the knowledge of this demon stuff, and you didn't think it would happen. Seems like utter bullshit. Plus, we get tropes like, oh my gosh, the power went out, and oh my gosh, the phone doesn't work, and also, the demon thing is throwing objects from the shelves, because of course we needed those in this movie. They also kind of remove any scare factor when literally all of the dead bodies are shown moving in some way. Not to mention, they give away the poster creature in the beginning of the movie. It's when Rebecca opens the basement door assuming that more fluids are down there, and Raymond stops her and literally was like, hey, there's no reason to be down here. Like, that isn't the most ominous shit that she just ignores. But then when Rebecca turns to go back, Raymond looks down the stairs and we get like a shot of our poster creature just sitting at the bottom of the steps, removing any scare factor, at least for me. Also really stupid that Raymond is removed from a good chunk of the movie, right up until the end, until his big moment to just reappear and put his mother back in her coffin. I've heard that the game has multiple endings, so I don't know if the ending of the movie fits one of those, or if they did their own thing, but it's not a great ending. Literally, it's just Rebecca walks outside, sees our poster creature, stares at it for a bit, and then goes back inside. Not to mention Raymond's talk of, now we're both stuck with all this demon shit and there's nothing either of us can really do but try to figure out together, and then she just assumingly leaves the mortuary. I say assumingly because she walks out of frame where I believe the front doors of the mortuary are. Overall, I think that this movie is just really bland, really predictable, chock full of typical horror tropes, and really just not that scary. There was maybe one jump scare that made me jump just like the littlest, tiniest bit, but that was it. It was the one where like she's using a scalpel and she goes up to the dead body with the scalpel and it like moved really suddenly. Like that one got me just a little bit. Mortuary Assistant, in my opinion, is just an average movie. Mortuary Assistant, in my opinion, is just an average movie that I think that fans of the game will probably enjoy more than those without the context of the game, which leads me to saying again that I don't think the movie really stands on its own without context of the game. That's going to do it for this episode, so if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.